All right. So yeah, there are a lot of you on. So we'll get started because Shanae has a lot of awesome content to get through. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy Network webinar series. I want to say thank you all again for tuning in today. I'm Carly Ann. If you've attended any of our past events, you might have seen me conducting interviews with some awesome entrepreneurs on our network. This is one of my favorite things to do at the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy. I love having the opportunity to invite amazing speakers like Shanae and have them share their expertise with you. For those of you who are new to our platform, welcome. I'll just tell you a bit about our mission. So here at the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy, our mission is to empower creative entrepreneurs like yourself with the business skills that you need to build sustainable businesses around your craft. And we carry that out through 3 pillars, which includes mentorship, training courses, and community. If you'd like to learn more about our product offerings, please visit our website, www.parsonsentrepreneur.com. You'll find a link to that in our chat, so you can check that out later. So this evening, we're excited to kick off our webinar series with our first webinar. And over the next couple of months, we'll be hosting several webinars on various business-related topics that are specifically tailored to you, the creative entrepreneur. But tonight, this webinar will be focused on teaching you how to create a business plan for your creative business. And it's going to be delivered by Shhyprett Haynes, who's one of our esteemed mentors. We're happy to have her. So during the webinar, we are going to provide you with a link to your very own business model canvas, which you can find in the chat right now. So click on that link, download the canvas, and throughout the webinar, you can fill this out in real time as you follow along with Shanae's content. So the webinar will have a 60 to 70-minute presentation, and we are going to have a 15 to 20-minute Q&A session at the end. So if you look at the bottom of your Zoom window, you will see a Q&A function. So throughout the webinar, you can drop your questions in that Q&A box, and you can like your favorite questions. So pretty much the questions that have the most likes will be upvoted, and those will be the first questions that Shanae takes. So remember to leave your questions in that Q&A box. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shanae. So I've known Shanae for a couple of years now, and she is pretty awesome. So we feel very lucky to have her in our ecosystem and to have her leading our first webinar tonight. So Shanae is an award-winning strategist, business advisor, and creative executive coach who has over 10 years of experience working with brands, creative agencies, startups, small businesses to adapt in a rapidly changing world through smart insights, community engagement, and value-driven strategies. Her list of clients includes brands such as Samsung, JP Morgan Chase, Maybelline, The Gap, State Farm, HBO, Microsoft, and Essence Magazine, just to name a few. And on that note, I will hand it over to Shanae so she can dive right in and give you guys all the goods. Thanks for being here, Shanae.
Hey, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the introduction. I'm so glad to see 84 of you and rising. So as Carly Ann mentioned, make sure you download that link in the chat box so we can dive into this business model canvas. So I'm going to get us all set up. And then, of course, I'm going to say the thing that you always say when you start these, which is like, can you see my screen? Okay. Are we seeing my screen? Give me a yes in the chat box if you're seeing it. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. So good to have you all. Okay, let me get 1 second. I'm all set up. I'm going to make sure that I can see the screen. I can see you all. Cool. So what are we going to talk about today? So we are talking about building creative business models But more specifically, what we really want to do is we want to put the pieces together to turn your creative ideas into a sustainable business. So no more struggling artists here. We definitely want to make sure all of our creative ideas make us some money. So Carly-Ann did a bit of an intro to me for me, and I want to at least talk a little bit about, what each of my titles mean. So when I say I'm a multidisciplinary strategist, I work with brand strategy, I work in business strategy, I work in marketing strategy. I would say strategy is my passion, is my love. But building community is also what I do as a business advisor and coach. So I teach programs like this. Yes, the bag. So I teach programs like this. And I do one-on-one. And then as a creative entrepreneur, like I'm always testing out new things. And today I'll specifically be your Zoom Sherpa. So what that means is I want you, though I cannot see you, I'd love for you to be as interactive in the chat as you possibly can. And as Carly-Ann mentioned, make sure that you're dropping your questions into the Q&A box so that I can answer them at the end. Cool. So what will you specifically leave with today? So you're definitely going to have a simple definition of what a business model is. So we're going to take away the jargon and you're going to know exactly what that is. You're going to have a practical breakdown of what goes into one. So you'll be able to build one on your own. Some homework thought starters to experiment with. And I'll pause in these places if you want to screen cap anything, if you want to write some things down. But I am going to give you some takeaway stuff so that you can actively start working on how to build your business models, some coaching questions to help you make bold moves. So I'm definitely going to ask you a couple of questions to inspire you. And as I mentioned, drop your answers in the chat so we can have open conversation. But I'd love to really hear where you are. And then we're going to have 3 examples of creative business models you can actually steal. So not just giving you the definitions of them and a breakdown of them, but I want to make sure that you have at least 3 examples that you can walk away from that you can start today. And then, as Carly-Ann mentioned, the last 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even 20, depending on how long we go, you'll have this kind of like ask the business coach. So you can ask me anything that pertains to the webinar we're going through right now. If there's a larger business question, I'd love to answer as many questions as I possibly can. So enough about me and what I'm going to teach you. I want to hear about you. So drop a C in the chat if you consider yourself creative. I should see lots of C's because this is Parsons, so I definitely should see a lot of C's. And drop an E in the chat if you consider yourself an entrepreneur. Okay, and some people are picking up, if you're both, do a CE. Amazing, amazing. So hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will all be creative entrepreneurs, so you will all be able to say CE. But I want to ask my first question to you. So right now, and I'll read a couple aloud. Tell me what's stopping you from running your dream business. Be honest. Money, organization, time, low funds, money, team, time constraints, fear of money, overthinking, prioritization, fear of failure, organization. Well, a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today are going to talk about these things. How to make sure that you have enough time. How do you make sure you have the right connections? How are you making sure you're making money? How are you making sure you have structure? And hopefully once you have all those pieces in place, you'll begin to mitigate some of that fear. Yes, just starting. Sometimes you just got to start, Tom. Sometimes you just got to start. Okay, so when we think of, what creative businesses or what business is, you normally have this idea of like, cool, I have this vision and then somehow I got to make money. There's some like magic that happens and then I make money. But what that really is the breakdown of how you deliver value. So your vision needs a customer. So you need someone that, believes in your vision, who's willing to invest in you. And then you need to deliver the value and then you make profit. So when you deliver the value, yay, that's amazing. I turn my vision, I find a specific customer, I make profit. When I'm not delivering value, I'm not making profit. So we're demystifying this idea of, get an LLC, step 2 is whatever, step 3 is secure the bag. It really is about making sure that you're always delivering value. When we talk about what a business model is, A business model describes how a business delivers a valuable product or service to a specific customer to make a product. Business models are how you deliver a valuable product or service to a specific customer to make a product. And I want you to think that business is creative. Like, we have this thing where we say that, people are left brain, right brain. Like, there are some people who are more analytical. There's some people who are more creative. Business is really creative. Business is really how you put the pieces of something successful together. So we are really going to build out a business right now as a couple of pieces. So when we talk about the business model canvas, which we just dropped the link again, so make sure that you're downloading the link in the chat box. A business model canvas is a creative tool that helps you describe, design, challenge, and pivot your business model until it works. So this is really wet clay that we're building out here. We want to make sure that we're putting the pieces together until it works. So don't think you're going to do it once and you're going to get it right. Know that these are building blocks. So you're going to continue to design, challenge, and pivot things until it works. So this is what the business model canvas looks like. So give me a yes in the chat if you've downloaded it. Cool, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Have that on hand, because we are literally going to break down this in the next 45 minutes. We're going to take it in sections. So as I said, you're creating a product that you probably know. You probably already know how to do what you do. What you don't know is maybe what you don't know is delivering that product to a customer. You might also not know, how is your product valuable? And even less people know how to make profit. But know that we are going to go through this specific process. So by the end of this webinar, you'll know how to deliver all 4 of these things. So we're going to start with value and delivery, because that is the most important. So value proposition, which is why your product is valuable to someone, and consumer segments, which is who does this product serve? So your product does not make money unless it's valuable to someone. So you need to figure out what value does your product have and who it's valuable for. So beyond just saying, I have an amazing hair braiding business. That's just your product. Why is it valuable to someone? And who is it specifically valuable to? So when we think of value, value is personal. Value is personal to an individual person. So whether or not I like cereal is personal to me. You might not. You might hate cereal. I might like cereal because it reminds me of my childhood. You might like cereal because it's, a easy breakfast food. Value is very personal to the person that you're speaking with. So when we think about what's valuable, value comes from solving a problem, satisfying a want or a need, or providing something special. Easy enough. You're either solving a problem, you're either satisfying a want or a need, or you're either providing something special. That's how you become valuable. So we think of what's valuable. Let's take some examples. Trendy home decor is valuable. Like, I'm literally moving into a new apartment in 10 days. So for me, finding trendy home decor is really important. It's really valuable for me. So I want to make sure that I have a comfortable home environment. Instagram design templates. If I'm a content creator and I want my Instagram to be on and popping, I want my grid down, I want to make sure my aesthetic is right, having those design templates is really, really important and valuable. Or when we talk about entertainment, maybe hip hop history. Maybe I want something new and different. So, watching something interesting could be really valuable. So this is a homework thought starter. Sorry, we skipped one. Did I go back? So a homework thought starter. So I want you to start to think of all of the ways that your product or service could be valuable. So I want you to take it out of what it is. So let's say you are a painter, or you do hair, or you are a makeup artist, or you teach a dance class. I want you to list all of the ways that that could be valuable to someone. Start with thinking about what problem does it solve? What need could it satisfy? And how could it provide something special? And besides thinking of things, consider experiences. Like, for instance, A dance class could be something to keep me busy. It could be something to relieve stress. Start to think of all the ways that your product or service could be valuable. And specifically, when we talk about things being valuable, we want to make sure that we are selling to the people who are already sold. When you sell to everybody, you sell to no one. So make sure that when you're thinking of value, you have a specific person in mind. You want to sell to people who need what you're selling. So I have an open question for you. Who's easier to sell to? So we have small business owners, we have a millennial woman, we have a museum curator, and we have a technophile. So drop in the chat who you think is easier to sell to. Okay, so you see small business owners, millennial woman, museum curator, technophile, millennial woman, millennial museum curator, technophile, all. It depends on the product that you're selling, all of them, depends on what you're selling. Okay, so that was a trick question because we don't know anything about these people beyond their titles. We don't know where the small business owner is. We don't know where the museum curator is. We don't know enough about these people to really have an in-depth conversation with them. What we want to do is we want to sell to multidimensional human beings. We don't want to sell to just a business owner. We want to sell to a first-time bakery owner in Ohio. Because then we know that specifically they've never done this before, so we know how to tailor how we speak to them. We know that they're starting a bakery, so that we know that we're not going to offer them information, that would go for someone who's selling tires. Specifically, people who are running a bakery, there are things that they need to do to run their business. And we know that they're in Ohio. That might mean that they're local to us, which means it's easier for us to work with them, or it might mean that we need to connect with them on a digital scale. And it's easier to sell to an African-American working mom with sensitive skin rather than just a millennial woman, because we know about her cultural background, we know about, her work environment, and we know about her skin type. So it's much easier to speak to and sell to her because we know about her unique experience. Same thing with the museum owner. Much easier to sell to a private museum senior curator who's a graffiti fan. We might love graffiti too. We might have a style in our marketing or our website that can, play into what she really loves. And the fact that she's a senior curator, we know that our language might need to speak to her insider information for being in her industry for so long. And the fact that she works at a private museum may speak to the amount of budget that she has to enlist our services. So as you begin to see, the more detail that we have for a person, the easier it is to sell to them, because we can begin to cater our marketing, our communications, our value proposition, our products to meet their specific needs. It's even better if we can get really, really specific and we say, hey, I know Jim. He's a career gamer and a YouTube reviewer. So I can specifically speak to Jim because I met him maybe at a networking event, or he's a friend of a friend. So the more specific you can get, the better off you are. So another homework thought starter, if you want to take a moment to take a quick screen cap of this, you want to make sure that you're describing your dream customers in detail. Here are some questions that you can ask yourself. What's their occupation? Where do they live? What's their biggest pain point? How do they make decisions? What else are they shopping for, and where else are they shopping for? The more you know about your dream customer, the better you can sell to them. So our value proposition is made up of our specific customer where we're delivering a specific value. So we found someone who we can describe in detail, who isn't just a general title to us, and we can offer a specific value to them. So you can say, teenage drama star. It's a specific customer, and I have a theater management class. And the specific value to her is that she can take this on weekends so that it fits into her schedule. So let's go into more detail about some examples. So here's a business, The Jungalow by Justina Blakeney. So The Jungalow is for bohemian urban dwellers who want trendy home decor that won't break the bank. So we have a specific customer, a bohemian urban dweller with a specific value, trendy home decor that won't break the bank. Canva. Let me know if anybody has heard of Canva. Say yes if you love it, say if you don't, if you don't so much love it. But this idea that Canva specifically is like a customer that they can target is a part-time vegan blogger who needs DIY-friendly Instagram templates. Specific customer, a part-time DIY vegan blogger. So this person, may need quick things on the go. They may not need to invest in, Adobe or, a high-priced software they need to figure out. They need Canva because it's DIY and easy, and they can get their Instagram templates. Oh, if you haven't used Canva, it's a really good cheat code. So if you need to make graphics on the go, Canva is really, really good for that. And then we talk about our entertainment examples. So Hamilton is for the atypical theater goer with money to spend who will be surprised by the retelling of history through hip hop. So this idea that the customer is this atypical theater goer, specifically who has money to spend, because Hamilton tickets were expensive. And the value for them is they're being surprised by this retelling of history through hip hop. So hopefully you're starting to see a specific value for a specific customer. So when we think about what a value proposition could be, we want it to be your specific product or service is for a specific customer who wants, needs, and would like a specific value. So take a moment to write this down, screen cap this, and this is how you describe what you do, the value of your business in one sentence. So if anyone has ever asked you what's your elevator pitch, what's your one sentence description, this is really how you can pack as much information as possible into that one sentence. Your product is for a specific customer who wants, needs, would like a specific value. So you may need to screen cap on your own computer, depending on like if you're on a Mac or Apple, or Mac or a PC, you might need to screen cap on your own computer, or you might want to quickly jot this down. So we've decided what our value is and who it's valuable to. We decided that we want to sell to the sold. So now it's time to design the buy. We want to make it easy once someone is convinced that they need what we have. We want to make it very easy for them to buy from us. So we talked about our value proposition. Why is your product value to someone? We talked about our customer segments. Who does your product serve? Now we're going to talk about customer relationships, how you will connect with your customers, and channels, where you will deliver your value proposition. So relationships is how you connect, often called customer relationship management. What's the connection that you will have with the people who want the value that you're going to deliver? And channels, where you deliver. So these are your marketing channels, but also your distribution strategy. We're going to dig deeper into these. So customer relationships. There are many different customer relationships that you can have. It can be a one-to-one relationship with a personal assistant. It can be a customized relationship where, depending on who your client is, they can determine how they want to interact with you. It could be an automated service where maybe it's run through a bot or some AI software. It could be self-service, which is what we normally know from e-commerce. So like Amazon is self-service. Any place that you've ever gone to shop online is normally self-service. It could be one-off transaction where someone comes to you and they buy one thing. So definitely, if you have a question, make sure you drop them in the Q&A box, and I'll definitely ask them at the end. It could be co-creation, where you come to a place and they work with you to create something that is custom just for you. For instance, if you've ever ordered a couch and you go to the place and you can choose your fabric, that is a co-creation experience. It could be one-to-many, where you have a Q&A section on your website where people go and they can look through your Q&A, and that's how they find out answers. Or you could have one customer service rep to many people. It could be a long-term relationship, which is more of a membership, or it can be a community where people pay to be part of something bigger. So when we think about relationships, let's think about what's the relationship for our examples. So the Jungalow, they have one-off transactions where they sell their goods. It's self-service, so you go to their e-commerce website and you pick what you want, you put it in the cart, and then it gets sent to you. And then there's one-to-many assistance. So there might be one customer service person for all of their customers. Now let's talk about Canva. So you can interact with Canva in a lot of different ways. Canva has a long-term membership where you can sign up, you pay monthly, and you get access to all of their assets for free. So you can use all the photos, you can use all the templates, and then you come to Canva and it's co-creation. So you come to Canva, they have templates that you can use, you customize the template, and then you make it yours. Or you can start from scratch. But the idea with Canva, you don't go and get a finished product, you're creating it within the app. And then it's also self-service. You pick which ones you want, you pick which templates to use, but Canva also has customized services. So for more money on top of your membership, you can work with a Canva design specialist and they will design things for you. And then since Canva is an app and a software, they have one-to-many assistance. It's normally, they have a customer support team that could be supporting thousands of customers daily. When we think of Hamilton, you normally buy tickets, so those are one-off transactions. It can be self-service, so you can go to the website and you can buy those tickets, but it also can be an automated service. There are ways that you can call in and buy tickets for those things. And it's normally one-to-many assistance, where, again, it might be 1 or 2 customer service reps or maybe 10 customer service reps for every 200 people. But Hamilton also has specialty tickets. So they have one-on-one personal assistance. So there might be a personal concierge where you call and you want, maybe you want front row tickets at Hamilton. You probably aren't going to be dealing with normal customer service. Since you're paying a higher price point, you're probably going to have a one-to-one personal concierge. So hopefully this is starting to give you an examples of how you can design your relationship based on what your product and service is. So marketing channels. So marketing channels is something that we all know. So we all know what marketing is. And there are a lot of different ways that you can market. There's social media, there's online marketing like SEO and content. There's online advertising. You can do display ads, you can do social media ads. There's more traditional things like word of mouth and referral. There's offline marketing, so there's print TV ads, there's wholesale, there's events, there's direct sales, there's word of mouth. There are so many different marketing channels that you can touch. What's most important to know with the marketing channels, because I often get the question of, should I be on Instagram? Should I be on TikTok? Should I invest in social media ads? You want to figure out where your customer is. So we found out who our specific customer is. Let's say this is the first-time bakery owner in Ohio. Maybe they're not on Instagram all day. Maybe it's more important to catch them on Facebook. The more detail you know about who your customer is, the better you can target your marketing channels. So you might not need to be everywhere. Where you need to be is where your customers are. So let's think about, what these marketing and channels could look like. There's Instagram, there is display ads, there is Facebook. Oh, sorry, hopefully my mic is making a bit of a noise. It might just be my headphones. So there is also Facebook, like you could also do newsletters, like, there are paid and unpaid channels. So we think of, the things that we can post on for free, like Instagram or Facebook. You can also buy ads to, target audiences that you don't directly know right now. You can also use the email newsletter to, target people who you have gotten their email address from. TikTok is a new channel that people love to use. That way you can do fast content with everyone. So you definitely want to make sure that with your marketing channels, you are figuring out where exactly the people who want your product are. If you are targeting you know, retirees, you might not want to be on TikTok because that might not be where they are. You definitely want to make sure that whatever marketing channel that you decide to invest your time and sometimes your money in is the channel where your customers are. Okay, so then we go into distribution strategy. So how do you get your products into the hands of your customers? So you can do that directly, which is they go to your website, they go to your store, they come to your event, and they have a direct line to you where you hand them the products, you hand them the ticket, you hand them the link to the webinar. You work directly through them. Or you can do indirectly, where maybe you sell through a wholesaler or a retailer, or maybe you have your art in a museum and the museum pays for your art and then your customer sees it. So you can have this in person or you can have this online. So it's important when you're thinking of not only, you know, how you're going to market your products, you need to figure out how you're going to deliver it to people as well. You can do just one, you can do just a direct relationship, or you can do an indirect relationship. It really depends on your product, your customer, and the channel that you choose. Everyone, make sure you're dropping your questions in the chat box. Cool. So then let's look at where our distribution is for our examples. And you all let me know if you're having trouble hearing me, if my mic is sounding a little muffled. Might need to shuffle some things around. So for the Junkalo, so the trendy home decor brand, they sell directly to e-commerce. Okay, you know what? I might just take my headphones off. Can you all hear me now? Are you hearing me? Let me get a yes. Let me get a no. Okay, yes. Okay, headphones. I was trying to not let my husband hear all the things that you all were saying. Okay, great, much better. All right. So when we talk about the Jungalo, they sell directly to e-commerce. So you can go to the Jungalo's website and you can buy from them. And they also sell indirectly to retailers. So you can also go to Target and find some things from the Jungalo. You can go to Wayfair. They've decided to do both channels. Canva, they do e-commerce direct, but they also have direct editing software. As I mentioned, you can go to Canva, you can use their templates, and you can co-create your own products through Canva. And then also they have you can use an app. Canva, as of right now, doesn't have any indirect channels that you can only purchase directly through Canva. And then with Hamilton, there's direct. They have e-commerce. So as I mentioned, you can go to their website and you can buy Hamilton tickets wherever Hamilton is being performed. It probably isn't being performed right now in COVID, but when you could see it, you go directly to e-commerce, or you could go to the theater box office. So if you had a theater box office close to where you are, you could go directly to the box office and pick up tickets. But Hamilton also sold indirectly. So you could go to Ticketmaster or you could go to StubHub. So they also had third-party indirect retailers who might have bought tickets for them in bulk or brokered tickets for them. So, that is also an indirect relationship. So hopefully you can start to see how you can have a variety of different relationships when it comes to distribution with indirect or direct. Okay, so we figured out what our value was. We figured out who we were selling to. We figured out what relationship we were going to have, what channels we were going to get to. So our delivery portion, we're getting together with that. We're getting together with that. We have the groundwork laid on for that. But now we got to get it done. And we want to know that done is better than perfect. We don't want to just perfect the things. We want to get things out so we can iterate and make them better. Okay, so everyone has probably seen this 2019 version of Amazon, where this was right before they bought Whole Foods, but you could basically buy anything on Amazon in 2019. This is what Amazon looked like when it launched in 1995, legitimately night and day. What's important to know is Amazon continued to perfect
what they were doing as they got more information, as they got new customers, as they got new products, as they learned new marketing channels, as they learned new distribution strategy. It doesn't need to be perfect to release it. You just got to get it out there. One of the things that, we talked about on social the other day was, you can't learn until you experiment, until you engage. You won't know what's good until you put it out there. So think about Amazon as the billion-dollar company that it is right now, and this is what it looked like in 1995. Okay, so we talked about delivery. We're gonna get into creation. How do we make the thing? So the creation components are activities, what tasks do you need to deliver your value, and resources. What assets do you need to deliver your value? And then also your partners. What outside help do you need? So activities are all the things you need to do to get your business done. So that's everything from sending an email to if you got to sweep the floors. Think of everything that needs to be done within your business. And your activities are broken up to, you either are going to use a resource to get your activities done. So this could be physical, like supplies and software or hardware, spaces or vehicles, or it can be intellectual. So this is your brand that you've created, or you have some kind of proprietary knowledge, or you have some patent because you've invented something, or you've had some copyright. You also have human resources. So who are the humans that help you get your things done? These could be your full-time employees. These could be your contractors. Who are the people that help you get your activities done? And then also your resources are financial. Do you have some kind of funding? Is there a line of credit? Everyone should be looking into ways that you can get a line of credit, but think of, these are all the resources that you can have: physical, intellectual, human, and financial. Then we think of partners. So these are the relationships that you create, for people outside of your business that can help you get it done. So these are things that are complementary. So who are people who add to what you do? Let's say these are people that you've networked with. Let's say I am a videographer and I know a photographer. So they're complementary. They don't do exactly what I do, but they could always recommend me. If someone, is looking for photography and they reach out to me as a videographer, I can refer them to my friends, who are partners for me that also do videography. They could also be competitive. Sometimes, people get in competitive groups and they refer each other business. Like for instance, a group of writers can get together, and if someone can't take a specific project, they may, reach out to someone else who is a writer just as good as they are and refer them. And then when we talk about partners, this is normally what people think of with capital partners. So these are people who provide money and resources to help you run the business in exchange for money back. So a venture capitalist is a partner. A private investor is a partner. Someone who comes in and wants to be, an investor in the business who might be a friend, they become a partner for you because they are providing capital. Cool. So let's talk about what's in the toolkit for each of our examples. So the Jungalow, they have a website that's a resource. They have WordPress, which is a software that they use for their website. And their partners are interior designers. As a home decor retailer, they partner with interior designers from time to time who might recommend their products. They might use them for their clients. So interior designers become a partner for a product business like the Jungalow. When we think of Canva, their resource is the app. That's something that they've developed on their own and they've created, and that's a resource for them. And then resources, Amazon web hosting, that's how they host. That's their, cloud platform. That is where they host all of the things that they need for their app and their website. And the partner is a venture capitalist. So Canva was one of the startups that raised venture capital. They gave them all the money that they needed to start things up. And then I believe Canva is publicly traded now. They might have, done the IPO, which is where, you get money back to give to your investors. In Hamilton, they have a ton of resources, but one of the resources is their theater. So whatever theater Hamilton is housed in, that's a resource for them. That's something that they're going to use to continuously put on the play. They have actors who are their contractors or employees. That's part of their human resources. And then a partner might be a playwright. So normally plays aren't necessarily, the theater is a partner with the playwright. So the playwright might split the revenue, but they aren't necessarily hired by a theater. Sometimes it works out that way, but normally with more high profile plays, the playwright is a partner with the theater. So homework thought starter, an important thing to do is when we think about your activities, make sure you do a task study and you record every task you do for your business for a week. So literally write down, you can do it in time blocks, but what you really want to get to is what do you need to do to get the business done? And then once you have that time study, you want to pair each task with either a resource or a partner. Okay, I know I need to get social media content out. Do I need to hire someone to do it? Am I going to do it myself? Am I going to find some partner to help me, invest in me so I can get that done? You want to make sure that for everything that you're writing down on your time study, you can either pair a resource or a partner to help you do it. And this is how you get better management of your time. So I know a couple people said the thing that was in their way was time. When you can do a task study to figure out everything that you need to do and then begin to delegate that to either a resource or a partner, this is how you get a better management of your time. Take a sip of my water. And then we're going to keep rolling. Okay, now we got to get where the money resides. Profit first. It is really important that when we think of making money in our business, we aren't just thinking revenue, but we're thinking of profit. So we talked about, we are almost done with our business model canvas. So we talked about the creation, we talked about the value, we talked about the delivery. Now we're going to talk about profit, where the money resides. So profit is broken down into two things: the revenue, which is how you are making money to deliver your value, and your operating costs, which is what you do, what you have to pay for in order to do to deliver your value. So two parts. So when we think of how you make money, which is really, really important, you have two processes that you can go to, two types of revenue you can make. You can make time-dependent revenue, which is revenue that is dependent on you being there. It's dependent on your time. So you're exchanging time for money, or time-independent revenue. Excuse me. Know that time-independent revenue is a renewable resource. You should try to get as much time-independent revenue as you can, because that's how you make money in your sleep. But if you don't have that, time-independent revenue is also a good source of revenue. So here are some examples of this. When we talk about time-dependent revenue, there's freelance and contract work, there's commission work, you can be a consultant, you can do coaching or mentoring, you can do live performances, you can do speaking engagements or live classes and workshops like I'm doing. So this for me right now is time-dependent revenue. There's event hosting, there's pop-up events, lots of things. These are just some examples of time-dependent revenue. And then time-independent revenue, the things that are like you making money in your sleep, you build them once, so you build them a couple times, and then you can continue to sell them. So these are things like digital learning courses or products. So for instance, if I decided to record this and then sell the courses later on, to me that would now become, this is how I turn something that was time-dependent for me once into something that becomes time-independent. So there are books or magazines, merchandise, wholesale, prints, templates, licensing, subscriptions or memberships, sponsorships, or advertising and rentals. So these are just some examples of the two different types of revenue. So you want to make sure that your revenue is diversified. The specific reason you want to do that is if one thing falls through, you don't want to be out of money. So we talked about money being an issue for some people. How you make money is you diversify your revenue streams. So for instance, the Jungalow, product sales, they sell directly to their products, wholesale because they sell to retailers. Affiliate advertising, so that is what they often do with their partners. So like, someone can, they can advertise on their social media platforms or on their websites, and they get money from that, from being an advertiser. Or they can do licensing, which is basically, someone can license their logo to create a product that is inspired by their style. So Canva, we mentioned there's membership fees, there's template sales, so you can specifically go and buy templates from Canva, but they also have seller fees. So let's say that you create templates and you want to sell them through Canva. If you do that, Canva just takes a percentage of the profit that they make from your fee, and they give that to you. And then Hamilton has a couple of ways that they make money. So ticket sales that we know, merchandise, if you have a Hamilton shirt, or if you have a Hamilton mug, that's merchandising. Licensing, so like if anybody ever wanted to use Hamilton's music in a commercial, that's like a licensing fee. So they've created that specific IP, which is their resource. So their music is part of a resource that they've created, they can license out to other people. So licensing, as I mentioned, is a time independent revenue. So you can continue to license out, things that you've created for as long as people want it. Then there's also sponsorships. So for instance, if JP Morgan Chase wants to come in and sponsor a performance to Hamilton, they might buy out a theater for, their card members. That could be a perk for their card members. They're going to buy out a theater, they're going to provide some sponsorship. And then Hamilton has made, a week's worth of sales for one night because JP Morgan Chase has decided to sponsor. Or there's advertising, specifically in Hamilton's playbill, they might advertise for Campbell Soup. They have the real estate within their playbills that they can advertise. So when we talk about, deciding what revenue stream is good for you, I've created a simple checklist. Does this fit in your lifestyle? So you want to make sure that whatever revenue you're making, whether it's dependent or time independent, it fits into your lifestyle. If you don't have a lot of time, you might not be able to do a lot of time dependent revenue streams. Is it aligned with your purpose or values? Does it feel good to you? Does it feel good to you to make money in this way? Does it feel good to you to have to charge, specific large fees? Would you rather charge money over time? Figure out, what's your purpose, what your value is, and then determine your revenue streams based on that. Does it contribute to the changes you want to see or create in the world? Some people do sliding scale payments, so they can make things accessible for more people. So I use that with some of my coaching clients. There are some people who can pay me a lot more money, and that can help me fund opportunities where people can't pay a lot of money. Does it inspire or excite you? Maybe you're really inspired by doing one-on-one consultations, and that's what you want to do. You would much rather do that than just do a digital class where someone pays for it and they never see you, you never get to interact with you. What inspires you? So I was mentioning sliding scale. So for instance, I do sliding scale pricing with my coaching. So I offer 3 tiers for my coaching. So there are some people who can pay me a lot more money for my coaching, so they may take the top scale. And because they can pay me a lot more money, that allows me to fund some people who can't, so that people who might be able to pay the bottom scale. So to me, that is how I am, putting change out into the world, because I'm making coaching more accessible by offering on a sliding scale. So does this revenue stream take advantage of my strengths and what comes naturally to me? If I'm a natural born seller, I need to be in front of people. Maybe I need to do time dependent revenue. If I hate interacting with people and I'd much rather be in my home in my pajamas, maybe I need to do, time independent revenue. Maybe I need to do, e-commerce where, I don't need to interact with people. Is it compatible with your customers? So always make sure that whatever your revenue is, the people that you are targeting, they want to pay in that way. And then will it get it closer to your goal? So if you know that your goal is to have a mansion and a yacht, you might need lots of different revenue streams, or you might need revenue streams that provide higher price points. Make sure that the revenue streams that you're picking gets you closer to your goals. So, homework thought starter. Choose at least 2 revenue streams for your business, and use the checklist to evaluate them. So they could be a mixture of time dependent and time independent. It could be, it could be just one or the other. You don't have to stop at 2. I would much rather you have 2 just in case one falls through, but have at least 2 revenue streams. And make sure they fit into your life, they meet the needs of your customers, and they agree with your values. So specifically, there's in a book that called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz that changed my life. And I'm going to break down a little bit of how they talk about the difference between your revenue and your operating costs. So you have your costs. So this is what you pay in order to get your work done. And then you have revenue. So your revenue should exceed your costs. So this is the money coming in. You always want the money coming in to be more than the money going out. Because the money coming in needs to fund your business. So when we think about how your revenue needs to be broken down, and this is explained in detail in Profit First, you always want to make sure that you're putting money aside for profit. So that's money that you are going to reinvest in your business. So that might be $5. It might be out of every purchase that you get. If you got a $20 purchase, you're going to take 5% of that and put it for profit. And that's money that you are going to reinvest in your business. And then you got to pay taxes. I know everyone doesn't do it, but you got to pay taxes. So you also need to put money aside for your taxes when you get revenue in. And then expenses. So all of the resources that you need to pay for, whether it's your staff, whether it's your supplies, that is part of your costs. So that needs to come out of your revenue too. And an important thing that a lot of people don't consider is you need to pay yourself. Your profit is not what you pay yourself. What you pay yourself is an expense. So always make sure that you are putting money aside to pay yourself. This is when we were talking about money to live. We are not doing starving artists here. You need to pay yourself. Your profit is not your pay. Make sure that you are including within your operating costs money to pay yourself. It's hard to do things that you love when you can't eat. So always make sure you are paying yourself. Okay, that was a lot. Let's take a minute. Let's decompress. Please drop in the chat how you're feeling. Come on, talk to me. Cool, great. So know that we literally went through the entire canvas in 50 minutes. If you have questions, make sure I can definitely answer the percentage questions if you drop them in the Q&A. Cool. All right, so this is a frequently asked question that I normally get. Is a person a partner or a customer? And it can get a little complicated, so I want to answer this one specifically. So know that customers provide revenue in exchange for value. So if you sell t-shirts and I buy your t-shirt, then I'm a customer. And partners provide capital for operating costs. So if you sell t-shirts and I invest in your business, but I never get a t-shirt, I'm a partner. Because I didn't give you revenue, I just gave you money to cover your operating costs. So partners often take on risk-free products. So these are people who might be, if you got a crowdfunding campaign, they might be investing in your crowdfunding campaign, or if you get VC money, or if you get grants, those are partners to you. And customers can also be partners or vice versa. So when you were thinking, is this person a partner or a customer? You ask yourself, am I exchanging my value proposition? If I have a streetwear brand and I'm giving this person a t-shirt and they're giving me money, then they're a customer for me. Or is this person helping me with my costs? If this person is giving me a donation, they've become a partner. for me. I'm not exchanging my value proposition. I'm not giving them any goods because of some goodwill or because they want to get paid back. They've invested in me and they are a partner. And then it's important to know, if you owe the person later, they are not a customer, they are a partner to you. So like VC that becomes a partnership. So if you ever thinking about, oh, I want to get VC money, know that you are now bringing in a partner. Do you want to hold that partnership? Do you want to control 100% of your business? Because the moment you begin, bringing people on where they give you money in exchange for nothing at the moment, know that they become a partner for you. Okay, now let's see it in action. Went through all of this, and I definitely told you that I wanted to, take the last couple of minutes to share 3 business models that you can steal. And hopefully you realize that it's the 3 examples that we've literally been going through the entire time. So Jungalow, Canva, and Hamilton. They each have unique business models. And know that over the course of this presentation, we've literally filled out this box for them. So this is what the Jungalow's business model canvas looks like. So we know that their customer segments are bohemian urban dwellers, but also retailers. We know that their value is trendy home decor that won't break the bank. But another value proposition is the Jungalow is a woman of color owned business. So that is valuable to some customers. So that's important. That becomes a value proposition. We know that their relationships are one-off transactions. We know that some of their channels are their websites. We know that, their partners are interior designers and bloggers. So know that we've literally covered all of this in our presentation. So I titled this business canvas, the designer product model. So if you are a designer, if you design t-shirts, if you design, if you do pottery, if you do prints, if you are selling them as a product, this is a good business model for you to follow. Okay, then we talked about Canva. They target part-time bloggers, they target digital course creators. There are lots of people that they can target to who need their value of DIY digital templates or content creation on the go. We know that they make money through membership fees, and they also, need to pay for web hosting. We know that they have gotten venture capital money, and that is helping them with their operating costs. And we know that they create an app and they create a software. So I call this one, oh, that one went really fast. So I call this one the productized service model. So this is basically, Canva has decided that their service is, content co-creation, DIY content. And they decided to productize this. So like you could literally self-service buy this. So for instance, if you sell courses, if you sell interior design, if you do any service, or like even if you do hair, you can decide to package that thing and productize it so that you can continuously sell it over and over again. So this is a really good one, like if you have a service model, if you do one-to-one service, what are ways that you can package your service so that it is an easy product that someone can buy? So they don't have to call you every time and ask you what you sell, that they can literally go to your website, maybe pull down a drop-down menu and choose the services that they want to use from you and pay one flat fee or pay a membership fee. This is a productized service model. And then Hamilton. So this is an entertainment model. So this was a play that you paid to go to. The value of it was a retelling of a history of hip hop. As it got more popular, the value of it became bragging rights. So know that Hamilton was ticket sales and event sponsorships. They got to pay for costumes. They got to pay for sound equipment. And their key activities were you need to audition actors, you need to practice, you need to clean the theater, you need to sell tickets. I call this one a content creator model. So anyone who's creating content, whether it's live content, whether it's content on the internet, whether it's movies, this is a good business model for you. So know that you need to hire people to be actors. You need to hire people to like run the technical stuff. and your value proposition are normally things that are like more passionately felt. It's not like hard things like I'm going to get a shoe that I love. It's more so like I'm going to have an interesting experience. I'm going to have bragging rights. So this is a really good model for people who are creating content. So think about the model that best matches your work. And I'd love for you to start dropping things into the comment box. Who is better aligned with the designer product model? Who is selling a product? This is really good for artists who are selling their product. They can sell it one-to-one, they can license it, they can, do wholesale or retail. Who's more aligned with the productized service? So, you have a service, you're going to package it, you're going to make it easy to sell and repeatable. And then who's more aligned with the content creator? Definitely let me know. Cool, you don't got to decide now, but hopefully, this at least lets you leave here with something that you can legitimately execute right now. If it's an ad agency, I would say a productized service model would probably be a really good one for an ad agency. But let's say like you do websites all the time. Maybe come up with one website package, a couple of ranges. Maybe it's a 5K package, a 10K package, a 30K package, and then you continuously sell that over and over again. Makes it easier for you because you know exactly what needs to be done every time it needs to be done. Okay, last question for you. I'd love for you to answer in the chat. What's your next step to realize your business dream? So we went through a lot of stuff. I gave you a lot of information. Hopefully you're able to take a lot of those things and continue to pivot and design your business model until it works for you. But I'd love to hear about what your first step is. Start now, yes. Finalize your product, organize your time. Yep, do those test studies. Finalize your website. Figure out your revenue streams. Yes, yes, yes. Someone better say to figure out what your value is. You need to make sure that your product is valuable. You hate to make a thing that nobody thinks is valuable. Create designs for sale. Reach your customers. Understand your audience. Yes. Develop your value prop. Yes. Figure out the one-pagers. Yes. Amazing. Define your audience. All things that I love hearing. Okay, thank you all for your time. I'm about to open it up for questions, so make sure that you drop those questions in the question box. If you want more of me, you can find me on the mentors page, and you can work with me directly as your business coach. You can do one-off sessions, or you can follow me on the socials. Thanks for the shout out, Carlo. You can follow me on the socials. I really appreciate your time. I know it was a lot of information. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you gotta leave, this is a good time for you to head out, but I'm gonna open it up for questions. Okay, now let me do the questions. All right, let me see questions. So I'm gonna try to get as many of these as possible. Okay, let's see. Can you speak to the connection of branding and business plan? What comes first? Okay, so what we worked out right now is what I like to call the one-page business plan. So you could literally do that in an afternoon. Start with that. Figure out what your value is, because you need to know that. You need to know why your business is valuable. And then you need to figure out who your customers are. Once you figure out why you're valuable, once you figure out who your customers are, it can help you with your branding. If you decide that your customers are bikers and you were going to do pink millennial branding, maybe that is not the branding you need. So I would say do this one-page business plan first. Like we literally did the entire thing in 55 minutes. So you can spend an evening doing this. And know that it doesn't need to be perfect, but get something down on the page. And then once you figure out who your customers are, what the value is, and you know what channels you need to be on, then it might determine what your branding is. If you're not going to be on the internet, don't invest in a huge website. If you just need your website to be a portfolio page, don't spend a lot of money on a website. If you know that you're going to, when outside opens, you're going to be outside, you can really figure out where you need to be for your branding. Okay. What kind of customer relationships would an app creator have with this customers? Example, health app or seniors. So it really depends on what type of relationship you want to have. So you can have that one-to-many relationship where you have one account manager or one customer service person to many people, or you can decide that you want a one-to-one relationship. But know that in each of those things, you're going to have corresponding costs. So, every box in the business model canvas speaks to another box. So if my customer relationships are one-to-many, I know I only have to hire one customer service rep. But if I decide if I want to have dedicated service managers, I need to hire more. So I might need to hire 10, which might mean I need to pay more money, which might mean I need to charge more money. So know that depending on your customer service relationship, it may change depending on, how you set up your business. So let's go. The next question is, I have a hard time answering the value proposition question for fine art paintings. I'm not sure how a painting solves a specific problem besides decorating, but it seems general. So when we said what could be valuable, you can satisfy a want or a need, you can solve a problem, or you can provide a surprise. So this painting behind me, surprise for me. It makes me happy when I see it. So it doesn't solve a problem for me, but it provides a surprise and delight moment for me. So when you think of ways that it needs to be, your product is valuable, think outside of the box. Paintings give people joy. Paintings also are bragging rights. People invest a lot of money in paintings to say that, oh, I own a Basquiat. So it doesn't necessarily need to be solving a specific problem. Let's go to the next one. So answer that one live. Let's see. Once you determine your customer avatar, your profile with the details, how do you reconcile the avatar with the initial data you were receiving from your first round of customers? At what point can you say that you validated your customer profile? So you validate your customer profile when your customer profile continuously gives you money. So continue to test it out. If, for instance, you say that your customer is high net worth moms in Ohio, cool, you're going to test out that customer profile. If you get 10 high net worth moms from Ohio to pay you money, legitimately give you revenue, then you have validated your profile. So the moment that you make your business model work, if all the things are clicking, you're making the money, you're making the revenue, you're making the profit, you're able to get your costs together, you're able to deliver the things, then you validated your customer profile. When it doesn't work, when it's no longer working, it's time to change your model. So know that you can continuously shift things, but your profile gets validated when people pay you money. Okay, let's go to the next one. Click these off. How would content and SEO be a way to promote a product or service? So for instance, it's just a channel, it's just a marketing channel. So you can decide that you want to write a blog. Let's say you have an acting class. You can write a blog that's like the 10 ways that an acting class can help you give an amazing business presentation. So that if someone is looking for, a new way to be a better public speaker, they could go to your acting class. And that's how you specifically use content to bring people into your business. So think about when you're using content, how can you write different things to enhance your value proposition? Okay, are Facebook and Instagram ads worth it? So it depends. So you always got to test things out. So it depends on, are you bringing customers in? The moment you start bringing customers in, you either have to change the ad or it's not working for you. So I would say you can't know until you test it. So always test things out. Okay, thank you so much. It seems like you found your passion and calling as a teacher and a mentor. Thank you, I really enjoy it. Do you have any advice for finding that place where business creativity and passion intersect? Yes, Test it out. It took me a while to get here. It took me a while to figure out that this is what I want to do. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I would say the more I do it, the more comfortable I get into it. But there are things that I was doing that I didn't really like. So like I tested this out as like me recording a webinar and, you know, me trying to sell the webinar one off, and I didn't like it. I like being able to answer your questions. I like being able to interact with you in the chat. So for me, you know, course creator where I'm not doing it live, it doesn't necessarily work for me. So I work with organizations like Parsons who get me in front of you. So test it out. I'm always going to tell you to experiment. Okay, let's see. Regarding marketing channels, can I measure which channels are more successful than others, a la Google Analytics? Yes, absolutely. As you're testing things out, make sure you have some kind of dashboard or some kind of Excel document or wherever you keep records so you can see what's working. The moment it stops working, pull it away, don't invest any more money in it, try it again, or pivot it. So that's why I said business is creative. It's all about, it's wet clay, it's molding, it's pivoting, it's changing. You want to react in real time. Okay, I have a digital magazine, Business of Beauty, which is Cannabis Beauty and Business News platform. I need a business partner so I can concentrate. In the meantime, I'm not sure where to spend my money first. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but as a publication, I'm not sure how and where to advertise. So figure out who your customer is. Figure out what customer is going to pay you money repeatedly. I would say when you're trying to figure out where to start, focus on one customer. So for Business of Beauty, you might specifically be focusing on customers who are casual cannabis users and want to figure out how to use that in their beauty routine. Focus on that one customer, perfect your business model for that one customer, and then expand. So I would say do some research, write some blog posts, figure out how to get that one customer, and make that business model work for that one customer. Okay, in a sea of like products, what's the best way to differentiate your product? Get really, really specific about who your customer is. So the difference between a business, you targeting business owners or first-time business owners, and you targeting first-time business owners who live in Ohio, who have a dog, that's how you differentiate yourself. Get really, really specific with who the customer is. Do activities include CRM, sales, market research, and distribution? Yes, activities are anything you do in order to get your business done, which includes sweeping the floors. That's why I said do that time study to figure out all the things you need to do within your business. Anything that you physically do or physically needs to be done for the business is an activity. Okay, how to choose the high value, low touch, low ROI channel, where to find that info. You can only find it when you test it out. I cannot tell you how to do that. You got to test it out. So test it out. Pick one specific customer that you want to target and test out that marketing channel. One marketing channel for one customer. If it results in you making money repeatedly, then it works. If it doesn't, then move on. Okay, how to choose when you have multiple ideas to work on. Can you tell me an example from your experience where a company or a startup kept on iterating till they found the one that has potential to scale up as a business, like a bottom-up research strategy? Your advice for young entrepreneurs to upskill their skills about entrepreneurship, books, or resources that they can recommend. So continue to test it out until it works. You're not going to figure out what's good for you until you test it out. Tesla is Elon Musk's 7th company. He did not get it right the first time. Continue to test things out. Advice that I would give on books and things. So the Lean Startup is a good book to read. Strategizer has a book on business model canvases. I would say the Lean Startup is a really good book to start because it's going to get you into the space of experimentation. Don't think you need to get it right the first time. Don't let anyone tell you that if you didn't get it right the first time, it's not right. Legitimately try every single business until you figure out which one works for you. This business model canvas will help you do that. This is my 4th business. Don't continue to work on it until you figure out what's right for you. Okay, let me do, how can I diversify my revenue if I'm putting all my resources into one venture? Figure out new ways to sell that one thing. So this sweater that I have, H&M, I bought it from H&M. H&M can sell this to me on their website. Also, H&M can go to Macy's and sell wholesale to this on Macy's. or H&M can sell the pattern to make this sweater. So figure out the one product that you have, the one product that you're invested in, figure out how to sell it in different ways. How are different ways to make money? Okay. What else? Do you have any good resources or finding your target customer? Go where they are. Go on social media, like get into their heads, read the things that they read. Just go out, do customer research when you can do that anywhere. I like watching TikTok and YouTube to figure out what people are into. That helps me with customer research. Okay, I'm creating a size inclusive women's wear collective and will sell direct to consumer on website. How much inventory should I have in advance in order to meet customer demand and reduce waste? If you can do drop shipping, that's good. Like if you can create as you go, know that you don't need to go fast in your business. If you set the expectation that your product is quality and it's made to order, you can sell the product before it's even made. I would say that's the best way to do it. You want to sell the product before you make it because you know you have a demand for it. So just develop, your customer service, develop your website to, speak to a high-end product, and then just have people wait. The people who will want it, if you're selling to the soul, they'll wait for it. Okay. So how would you translate this worksheet to an actual plan to submit to a financing or other business decisions? So literally it's easy to take this and submit it to a business plan because the boxes naturally match up. The reason why I like doing this on one page, because you can work through it fast. But if you need to submit this to a financial advisor or someone who's going to give you funding, you can literally just flesh out the boxes because it matches out. Like you're going to have to do a background, you're going to have to do your financial projections. Like you literally match your financial projections, so your operating costs and your revenue. It's actually a very easy transfer. It just takes a little bit longer of a time, which is why I say start with this first. Make sure it works so that you're not writing 100 pages on something that you don't know if it works. What's an appropriate percentage to give as equity? It really depends. Just know that, when you're giving out equity, you're becoming a partner with the person. Decide if you want to keep 100% of your company, you don't want to give equity. If you only want to give 5%, it really depends. And I would say if you are at the point where you're thinking of giving out equity, absolutely speak to a lawyer on that. Okay. Could you talk about partners and control responsibility? Suggested when you take partners that creates expectations. Absolutely. So again, it's another thing that you could get a lawyer involved into. Whenever you take a partner, always have a partnership agreement, and so that you are clear who is responsible for what. Can a business model hybrid of all three examples, is that indicative of an unfocused business model? No. If it works, then it works. Amazon has a ridiculous business model. It is retail, it is web hosting, it is infrastructure, Amazon has a crazy business model, but Amazon has been around for a really long time and it's tested everything to make sure it works. So I would say if you're thinking of a hybrid business model, try testing it in parts first. Also, if giving a grant, does that mean you share in your business later? It depends on the type of grant. Some grants are in-kind grants where you don't have to pay them back. And some grants are grants that you have to invest something in. So definitely read the fine print for all your grants. How can I find a mentor for app development venture? I'm an undergrad woman of color. Absolutely reach out to networks. Like I think the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy, there is a community that you can join and you can ask questions. It's always best to get a recommendation from someone who's worked with the person before. So I would say reach out to networks. Okay, in the key partner section of the business model canvas, what do you write if you are the only one doing the business and financing it, like using a bootstrapping model? Now you don't have partners right now. So, you can decide down the line that your partners are people who are also doing similar business with you, and they can, recommend things to you. But doing that task study and deciding what needs to be done and who needs to do it can really help you determine if, your partner could be as simple as, someone in a network with you who just recommends you. And then ROI is return on investment. So that is whatever you spend money into, you're going to make sure that you're getting money back in some way. Okay, another question. I don't have work experience in the dream business that I'd like to start in the next 5 years. So what would you recommend to learn the business and industry in my situation? Do things yourself. So if you love, if you want to be a content creator, create content, whatever it is. Don't wait till people pick you. Like, do it. You got this. Okay, I think I've answered all of your questions. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you definitely interacting with me in the chat. If you want to connect with me, you can reach me on the mentor page. Maybe I'll do this again. I really enjoy you all. Definitely follow me on the socials. Thank you all. Okay, I do have 2 more questions. Okay, I'll let Carly-Ann answer that one. The specific Parsons one. Where did I get my glasses from? C, it's called SEE. C is where I get my glasses from. And thank you, I love your energy too. I felt it, though I couldn't see you. I felt it through the chat. Okay, Carly-Ann, you can come on now.
All right. Thank you so much, Shanae. This was such an amazing presentation, and it looks like everyone enjoyed it and learned a ton from it. Thank you all again for tuning into this webinar. As Shanae mentioned, she is one of our mentors on our mentoring platform. And if you all want to continue following through on the business models that you started tonight, I would definitely recommend that you book a session with her. So you can find the chat to her mentoring profile in the chat. So you can check that out. Mentoring sessions on our platform are $199 an hour. So check that out and book a session. Shanae has limited spots available in March. So I would encourage you to jump on that and get these business plans going. All right.
Yes. And if you book a session with me, the first thing I'm going to ask is what's your value proposition. So get ready. Get ready.
Get ready. All right, Shanae, thank you so much. For all of you who are tuning in for the first time, if you haven't joined our network as yet, please do so. You could visit www.parsonsentrepreneur.com and visit the network section. When you join the network, you will be able to stay abreast with amazing workshops like the one that you just attended. So we have several coming up over the next couple of months. So join the network so you can keep up with our scheduled programming. And if you have any questions about the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy or any of our products or activations, please feel free to reach out to us at pea@newschool.edu. You can find that email address in the chat as well. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in again. Hope you have a great night and looking forward to seeing you all again at the Parsons Entrepreneur Academy.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.